And Hamzah Sundut, when they come in and they say to us, you are all unpolished diamonds. You know, a very apt sort of metaphor. We are here to polish you so that we can shine, so that you can lead the way. I think the point about knowledge is to enrich you and to enrich your community. I think that's what knowledge is all about. Yeah, it is almost like money that you spend to make other people better and to make yourself better. Except that when you spend money, your money will be finished, you know. But knowledge, as you spend your knowledge grow bigger and bigger. So as you use this to contribute to other people, you also learn from other people. And I think that's the quote unquote, the benefit that I got from working with other people around the community and later on around the world. As you work with them, you learn a lot more, you expand your mind, you expand your boundary of knowledge, you know, and you can contribute better. I think that is what I think the contribution that you talked about. I don't know whether the contribution is a real contribution, but the contribution in the sense that we want to help people. After all, not everybody is born equal. Yeah, some of us, particularly the rural Malays, they are not born equal in the sense they have to live in an environment which is quite different, and we need to give them this knowledge so that we can uplift them. And therefore, I believe that university is a kind of a leveler of society. It levels up society. The rich and the poor will be leveled up because of knowledge. They have the same knowledge and therefore they can speak to one another. And that is the purpose of the university. The university is to get people out of poverty so that they can live better life, so they interact with other people and they can go around the world because now they are equal to other people. Yeah? For some people, success is about gaining material goods. Yeah, how many cars you've got, how many houses you got, what sort of paycheck you have. Yeah? But to some people, success is just about happiness. I contribute and I feel satisfied, I'm happy, I have food on the table and that's enough for me. And tomorrow I'll go on to contribute. So where do you put success in this idea of knowledge or university? It all depends on you. And you define what you want. Yeah? So now the university talk about ranking. Is ranking a success? I don't think so. Because as you see university being ranked, they are not even working with the community sometimes. You know, they're very elitist in their work. They talk about publication, but the publication has no relevance to the society as such. And therefore, to me, that is not success. And that's why I'm not a pro-ranking person. I love this word innovation because university, from day one, when I was in the university, it is already about innovation. The word innovation then wasn't a fashion. You know, we talk about creativity maybe, yeah. But let me give you one fantastic example of what innovation is all about. Yeah? The university was headed by Professor Tan Sri Hamzah Sundut. We know that, yeah. And Professor Hamzah Sundut was the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, University of Malaya. Yeah, a very accomplished intellectual, a very accomplished practitioner in terms of urban planning and so on and so forth. He came to the university and he planned USM unlike he planned MU. People would have thought, I come from a premier university, the only university in the country, why don't I just repeat the model of MU and put it in USM? The location may be different, but everything else is the same. I think people would want to do that. Many vice-chancellors will take their own experience and try to plonk it in the new university that they have. But Hamzah Sundut was a different person altogether. I give you very many examples. Yeah? Hamzah Sundut, for example, came to the university and created the school system, not the faculty system, not the department system. We've got a school system, we've got a program system, we've got a disciplinary system, which is a different way of managing knowledge altogether. At once, Hamzah put the interdisciplinary sort of knowledge. You know, so if you're a science student in USM, I'm a science student, 30% of my subject must be from the non-science. People in the arts, so humanities, social science, they must have 30% from the non-arts, non-science. Already he has put it this blend, what we call transdisciplinary now. That wasn't practiced in the University of Malaya, yeah. But he created this. He made this something new. So we have the School of Social Science. It was then called School of Comparative Social Science. We've got the School of Humanities. This word social science and humanity is a new word. University of Malaya has got School of Arts, Faculty of Arts and Faculty of Science. Humanity, social science, he brought it in. You know, we have got the School of Pharmacy, which is the first in the country. School of Computer Science, the first in the country. School of Mathematics, the first in the country. Schools of Applied Sciences, the first in the country. So if you talk about innovation, USM is about innovation. Its DNA is about innovation. You know, we have got the School of Medical Sciences. Our School of Medical Sciences is integrated medical sciences, not the traditional medical sciences as they do in University of Malaya. I'm not saying whether University of Malaya is good or bad, but I'm saying that here is a leader who bring in innovative ideas, who dare to try something which is different, who be dare to take the risk. How many vice chancellors dare to do that? So if you use the word innovation, it is part of USM punya DNA. We are very proud that we are a university that leads because we are innovative. And I want to quote at that particular time, I think in around 1988, if I'm not mistaken, the late Tan Sri Nordin Sofi. He was then the director of ISIS, or the Director General of ISIS. Yeah? And he made this statement, and I remember very clearly. He said, anything that is casual in USM is innovative in other universities. And he's not even an alumni. You know, he's the one who made this architect of Wawasan 2020, another innovative person. So this word innovation for us is part of DNA. If you want to just to follow, then I think you are not the USM person that we expect you to be. If you are not innovative, then I think you should not belong in USM lah bagi saya. You know, you should go somewhere else. I want to talk about how do you contribute, right? It could be in the form of work that is sustainable. So to be ready for what? Some people say to be ready because we want to earn a lot more money, you know, because of this project. It doesn't matter whether it hurts the environment ataupun tidak. And you can go back to USM, and that's why when I came in, we introduced the university in the garden. I want to bring back the perspective that this is a garden. You don't just build anything anywhere, you know. You just don't put what they call astroturf on the grass that is already there, been growing for a long time. You know, you don't put anything artificial over the university because university is a garden. And what is a garden? A garden is about diversity. So when we talk about work ready, I have different interpretation. You must understand what the future is all about first. Then you can talk about what to be ready for. You know, if you don't understand the future, take the pandemic. Yeah, we do not understand what the pandemic is all about. All the work that we do becomes zero. It's useless. The KPI that we think it is important, the numbers that you count, once the pandemic comes in, nobody talks about numbers anymore. People talk about life as compared to livelihood. Right? All this while we've been talking about livelihood, but we do not know how to organize life. So duit banyak, harta banyak, suddenly there's a lockdown. The harta and duit means nothing. You cannot buy, you cannot even move, you know. And what happens? Then you become depressed, you become anxious, there's a lot of suicidal, there's a lot of domestic violence. Why? Because you do not know how to organize life. So when you talk about work ready, to me it's about life ready. Are you ready for life once you get out of the university? And that includes work. You can be ready for work, but you're not ready for life, then I think the whole idea of education is defeated. And I think we are at that particular point now. Yeah, the person that is sympathetic when there is epidemic, you know how to help other people. You sacrifice your money for other people to live at the same time. You give your knowledge so that other people can also benefit at the same time. Yeah? And you make life of other people just as pleasant as the life that you've got. We are lucky, but how do you help other people to be as lucky as you are to the extent that you could? Or do you just keep everything to yourself? They are the different world, I'm a different world. And I think this is what education is all about now that most of us are questioning. We have been questioning this for a long time in USM, and that's why we create the Apex University with the word bottom billion. I don't know where the bottom billion is now, but the bottom billion means we want to reach out for the people who have not had the opportunity long before the pandemic came into the picture, Duena. You know, we started in 2008, yeah, and the pandemic comes into. Are we ready at that particular time to help people once they are now being pressed into a situation that they are also not expecting? Then students who are educated should be life ready, not work ready alone. The campus life has shaped me a lot. I owe so much to campus life. So happened in USM. Because my campus life is an uninhibited life. There's no AUKU, there's only one timbalan Naib Chancellor, and itu pun bukan hal ehwal pelajar. He helps the Vice Chancellor. This timbalan hal ehwal pelajar came in later and stuff like that, you know. So my life as a student is a very independent life. I search for what I want to know. And that's why I work with CAP, I work with IOQ, I work with SAM, and my body of knowledge is beyond science. Yeah, in science, we play with instruments, we play with animals, rats and rabbits and monkeys and stuff like that. We seldom see human being also. Yeah? So when you want to talk to a human being, we don't know how to talk to a human being because that's not our practice. So when I go out and work with other people, CAP, and we see real problem. When you talk about poverty, I see real poverty. It's not a textbook poverty. It's not the poverty that I read in an econ room and imagine what it is all about. I went there and I worked with them and I actually understand what poverty is all about. And it sensitizes you because this poverty is man-made. You know, it is man-made because of policies are not right, because of the politics are not right, because of human greediness, because of selfishness. Yeah? These are all the things that we are not taught in class. In fact, in class we are taught to be more greedy and more selfish. I'll give you an example. As a pharmacist, I'm told if there are two medicines are the same, I need to sell you the one that's more expensive. Because I'll make more money. And that's how I'm judged. The margin is important. So if I bring, say, maybe 3 million, then I'll be promoted because I brought a lot more money to the company and to the industry. But what does it do to the people who can't afford? So the medicine, again, becomes a discriminative factor. The people who can't afford will get the worst medicine because it is cheaper, and they don't get the best medicine because they can't afford it. And these are the values that question me, and that's why I'm not a practicing pharmacist. You know, I don't think I can live with that kind of aspiration. And I go into the university, but I find the university also lebih kurang begitu juga. As a student, I cherish this whole idea of openness. Yeah. We talked to the Vice Chancellor directly, and in fact, I remember the Vice Chancellor used to have a coffee session with the students beside the pool yang kecil tu kan yang besar tu, yeah, and we discuss issues, and he's very open about it. I remember sometimes when we have demonstration, he also said, "Go ahead." You know, he does because he's part and parcel of learning, part and parcel of expression, and I had benefited from that. Yeah. So my life is in that sense very independent. I decide for myself. I know what I want, you know, and I don't normally take instruction if the instruction is not in line with my values. So people will say Zul is a rebellious student. Well, that's okay, it doesn't matter. But I know what I want, and that's how I direct myself. When I became a lecturer, I still work with the student. We have no hierarchy over students. We work together with the students. Most of the project that we organize, I bring the experience that I had, that they work with the community. They understand the community also at the same time, and we have got a lot. For example, when I'm given the opportunity to organize Pusat Racun Negara, if you remember, we bring in tobacco, how to help anti-smoking among children. We work with drug abuse issues, and we also operate this 24 hours telephone calls. People got so these are areas that I think will sensitize students to the community, to the needs of the community. They are not isolated in this ivory tower, but they're in part and parcel of the community as such. When I become the Vice Chancellor, that's probably the third one, where I felt that the university needs to go back to its own quote-unquote innovative pattern. Yeah, and that's why I don't know whether you remember the year 2000 when we organized Futures workshop. That's when I asked a question in the year 2000, 21st century and the 20th century, what is the difference? There must be a difference, and nobody can give me the answer. Yeah. So when we do this future scenario, suddenly we find there are many possibilities what the university can be. And one of the possibility is a sustainable university.